Last year, I heard a talk by Magnus MacFarlane Barrow. He spoke about the moment his life changed in 2002 when he was visiting Malawi. He met a mother who was dying of AIDS. Her 6 children were gathered around her, and Magnus asked the eldest son, Edward, what he hoped for in life. He said, to have enough to eat and to go to school one day. Magnus said to himself, we've got to do something to help, however small. His first tiny project gave food to 200 children in southern Malawi. Since then, Mary's Meals has grown into an international charity delivering school meals to children in many countries each day. Magnus felt called to do something. He didn't have huge plans or special gifts, but he listened to his heart and was brave enough to take the first step. The word vocation simply means a calling. There is a pull, or sometimes a sense of being pushed. Something in you knows that this is the right way forward. It might be your heart, or your conscience, or a sense of duty, or even of destiny. For a Christian, the fundamental vocation is the adventure of following Jesus Christ in faith. It's a call to grow in love and holiness. Our ultimate vocation is to share God's life in the glory of heaven, to see Him face to face. This is what we were made for. But God calls many people to a special commitment to a particular way of life. It could be marriage or ordination as a deacon, priest or bishop, or religious life in a monastery or convent, or another form of consecration, or a commitment to the single life. It's not always tidy. I'm here in Chelsea, on the site where the home of St. Thomas More used to stand. At first, he thought about joining a Carthusian monastery. Then he became a lawyer and a politician and was eventually appointed Lord Chancellor of England. He married and had 4 children. His wife died when the children were still young, and he married again soon after. And just when everything was looking very settled, he was imprisoned and executed for his religious beliefs. His vocation, as you can see, took many twists and turns. But how do we know what to do? What are the signs? Well, the normal way that God speaks to us is through the deepest desires of our hearts. The simplest sign of a vocation is attraction. It's a bit like falling in love. You feel an attraction, a pull, to marriage or to priesthood or whatever. The idea keeps coming back to mind. It seems to fit. It brings you joy. A friend of mine called Sally joined a community when she was a young woman. She said, I realized that when I was with them, I was at home. I felt a deep peace. I was completely free. I was, she said, the best of myself. God can speak to us in different ways. When we pray, when we read the Bible, when we talk to people, when something unexpected happens. Sometimes we get a feeling that He is saying something to us. It seems like a sign. But sometimes it's not like falling in love. It can be a deep, dark knowledge that we need to do something, a sense of obligation that we didn't choose or that we can't explain. God can take us by surprise. He did this when He appeared to St. Paul on the road to Damascus in a blinding flash of light. Above all, we need to pray for guidance and for a generous heart, and then to be open to God's will. If you are single, It doesn't mean your life is on hold until you discover a lifelong vocation. Your life has immense value right now. You are called to holiness right now. You can trust that in this moment, this is where you are meant to be, and that God has great plans for your future. He has not forgotten you. John Henry Newman wrote these words to himself when he needed reassurance. He said, "God knows me and calls me by my name. God has created me to do him some definite service. He has committed some work to me which he has not committed to another. I have my mission. I may never know it in this life, but I shall be told it in the next. I am a link in a chain, a bond of connection between persons. He has not created me for naught. I shall do good, I shall do his work." These beautiful words are true for each one of us.
I had a time where I didn't know what I was going to do with my life, and I prayed, asked St. Joseph to help me, and I thought that I would get an answer in some way. I received a letter from St. Joseph's parish inviting me to be a youth worker, so I felt absolutely called to do that, even though I didn't want to.
I definitely say I felt inspired at times to do things. There's not a physical sense of being called, like a loud voice. But just a nudge in the right direction that in hindsight you think, yeah, God was behind that.
I don't think I have. There's a lot of things I have done and I do, which I do just because of who I am and not because I feel that I'm being called to do them.
I felt inspired to support mothers in their vocation and in the constant research for fullness in their vocation and therefore in God.
Absolutely, yes. So I'm at this point where I've just kind of like changed careers from working in the private sector and now working for charities. And I think that's really come from a realization that I have like this knowledge and that I can do something with it for a greater good.
Yes, actually I have. I felt called to study medicine and I have done it. Very challenging, but it's where I'm supposed to be.
The Student Centre where I work has a huge boat party at the end of every academic year when exams have finished. 4 hours sailing up and down the River Thames with a DJ whose vinyl collection is stuck in the mid-80s. Every year, without fail, there is some kind of romance brewing. And the lovely thing for me as a priest is to stand in the church 3 or 4 years later as a couple make their wedding vows and remember the first moment they met. One of the reasons that marriage is sometimes hard to discuss is that everyone assumes they know what they are talking about. We might say, great, they've got married, they love each other. They've taken their vows, they've tied the knot. But hang on, lots of people love each other without getting married. People make different kinds of commitments to each other without getting married. What then is the actual meaning of marriage? We can't just assume we all mean the same thing. Let me give you the Christian understanding of marriage. I don't mean the meaning of marriage just for Christians, but marriage as Christians understand it. Here we go in one sentence. Marriage is a public commitment where a man and woman promise to love each other faithfully for the rest of their lives and to be open to the gift of children that may come from their sexual union. So there is a profound union of love and friendship, and there is also an openness to new life, a generosity that takes the husband and wife outside themselves. When I help couples to prepare for marriage, I speak about the 4 F's. Marriage is free, faithful, fruitful, and for life. Marriage is free. You can't force someone to get married against their will. There has to be a choice. They have to say yes. Marriage is faithful. You give your life to this person and not to someone else. That's why, obviously, adultery is wrong. But faithfulness is also about much simpler things, being honest and affectionate, trustworthy and kind, even when things are difficult. Marriage is fruitful. It's open to the gift of children and building a family. Now, a couple can never be sure they will conceive a child, but they can be generous and open to new life in their sexual intimacy. They may try to plan their family using natural fertility awareness, but they will avoid anything that works against their fertility or against their openness to each other, which is what contraception does. And marriage is for life. There is a bond of marriage. The marriage vows bring about something new. A spiritual bond is established, even if someone has no faith, because God blesses the promises that every married couple makes. That bond can normally only be broken by death. This is why marriage is such a big step. It's far more than just a legal document or a temporary commitment. You can see why, in this Christian view, marriage is always between a man and a woman. This is not because of any prejudice or discrimination. In the Christian understanding, there is something distinctive and unique about the relationship between a man and a woman, between male and female. Because this male-female complementarity is what allows for the gift of new life. This is a fundamental part of the meaning of marriage, even if a couple are unable to have children. My parents had their 50th wedding anniversary a few years ago. It was funny looking at the black and white photographs of the wedding from 1963, the year of Beatlemania and the Beach Boys. Dad with his thick Michael Caine glasses, Mum with her hair up in a 60s bun. I'm not idealizing them, but I know one thing. Through all the normal ups and downs of marriage and family life, they tried to be faithful to each other and to God, and that's a lot to be grateful for. You don't need to be a Christian, of course, to get married. But when 2 Christians do get married, this beautiful natural union is transformed into the sacrament of matrimony. The Christian husband and wife are called to love each other with the love of Jesus Christ and to make their home a place of faith. He gives them extra graces to grow in holiness and generosity. This is why marriage is a Christian vocation, because it comes a way of following Jesus Christ as spouses and as parents. Now, couples can struggle in many ways. There can be real suffering. Some relationships break down and seem beyond repair. And people deserve the love and care of the church, whatever their situation and whatever choices they've made. But this is the heart of marriage, as Christians understand it. The love and friendship shared between husband and wife, a love that is free, faithful, fruitful, and for life.
I think openness and laughter, sharing, being able to feel comfortable around each other, unity.
Complete commitments, you know. It's not a temporary thing, it's a lifelong commitment, and that's got to be the basis that everything's got to go from.
Kindness, respect, and taking time out to talk things through when we're going through difficult patches or difficult decisions.
I think being quick in forgiving the other person.
There's the sentence, there's the phrase that says, the family that prays together stays together. And I would say that is definitely the key for a happy marriage and for a happy family. Meaning that there are many things that are important, but by placing God at the center, that is definitely the recipe for a successful and a happy family.
Happy wife, happy life. Yeah.
Every year, I take a group of students to visit some of the monasteries and convents around London. You might think this is a very secular city, but there are dozens of religious communities scattered around. Monks and nuns, religious brothers and sisters, men and women living other forms of consecrated life. We visit the poor servants of the Mother of God. They were established by Mother Magdalene Taylor in the 19th century, an Englishwoman who worked with Florence Nightingale in the Crimean War. She was so shocked by the poverty she discovered around Fleet Street and Covent Garden that she gave her whole life to serving the poor. We visit Tyburn Convent near Hyde Park. This is a contemplative order where the sisters are completely dedicated to prayer and worship. And we come here to Allen Hall Seminary in Chelsea, where young men from around the country are preparing to be priests. I lived here for 8 years, teaching philosophy and helping with the training program. In the Bible, St. Paul explains how those who choose to stay unmarried have a special gift because they can focus on the things of God. They can give their undivided attention to the Lord. So what we call consecrated life is not something that started in the 19th century. It goes back to the beginning of Christianity. There is so much variety. Some communities are enclosed with a focus on prayer and community. Some communities are more active and engaged with the world in education, healthcare, social work, parish ministry, missionary work, or service to the poor. Some people are living their consecration in more personal or hidden ways outside of any community. Consecrated life involves the evangelical counsels, the 3 vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience. You promise to remain poor without private possessions, to remain unmarried in lifelong celibacy, and to be obedient to your superiors in the service of the gospel. This is a very special call from God. It gives someone a greater freedom to follow Christ and to be at the service of others with an undivided heart. Consecration, when it is lived with generosity, becomes a sign of God's unconditional love. Myself, I'm a priest, but not a monk or a brother. This is a different kind of consecration. Now, every Christian has a priestly vocation to worship God and to show the love of Jesus Christ to the world. This is the baptismal priesthood. But through the sacrament of ordination, the ministerial priest represents Jesus Christ as the head and shepherd of the church. He stands in the person of Jesus Christ. This is part of God's plan. You see Jesus sending out the 12 apostles in his name. You see the apostles calling others to share their ministry, laying hands on them so the church will have a new generation of shepherds. Ordination also includes deacons who assist in the liturgy and preach and teach and reach out to serve the community. And it includes bishops who represent the apostles and receive the fullness of the sacrament of ordination. There is an unbroken tradition in the Catholic and Orthodox churches of calling men to the priesthood and not women. This is not because men are superior or anything, but because Jesus specifically chose men to be his apostles and to represent him in this way, and because the tradition is so clear and consistent. The priesthood is such a gift. When a priest teaches with the authority of the church, it is Christ who teaches. When he forgives our sins in the sacrament of confession, it is Christ who forgives. When he celebrates Mass, it is Christ who offers the Eucharistic sacrifice. When he cares for his people, it is Christ reaching out to them. Things can go wrong. There can be an unhealthy culture of clericalism if priests become isolated from their people. A priest can become trapped in his own weaknesses and sins. He can even betray the priesthood and the trust of those who look to him. When people have been hurt and crimes have been committed, priests need to be brought to justice, and the Church needs to take responsibility for her failures. Whenever someone fails, it makes us see even more clearly the need for good and loving priests. A priest should be a humble servant, a loving shepherd, a man of prayer, a man of utter integrity. The need for holy priests has never been greater. I wouldn't be where I am now without the love and support of different priests, many of them who have died now. Father Maurice O'Leary helped me to understand the Christian message when I was just a teenager. Father Chris Jenkins, my university chaplain, was on fire with love for Jesus and for the Church. Father Digby Samuels, a dear friend, had such kindness and tenderness for others that I sometimes imagined I was seeing the kindness of Christ himself. We owe so much to our priests and to all the consecrated men and women we have known.
I can think of a friend of mine, Sister Hilda, who's doing her PhD in law, so that she can go back to her country and teach law there.
Yes, I knew a priest in Canada. He was the chaplain of my university, and he was a very interesting fellow. First of all, he drove a motorcycle, the classic Wild Hog type of motorcycle. He had a Star Wars podcast. He edited movie videos on his phone, and he just loved movies in general and used them in his sermons all the time.
So I'm thinking of a priest that helped me a lot in my university years. He was always available, and he would make it known to me. You need something, call me. Like I'm there for you. And he was always there. He was always available.
So there was this lovely nun that my mum used to take me to go and see when I was little. And she was really, really nice. She would always I think she would make us cups of tea and just be very loving. I just really remember her being really loving and so friendly and lovely.
I know a priest who's in his 90s. He's he had a long career as a philosophy professor. But one thing that inspires me about him is that his capacity to always see the humanity in everybody that he meets or everybody he talks about.
Definitely a priest I met a few years ago. He has a science background in maths, and I think that really helped me because he talks about it very openly before he was called to priesthood. And it really helped me with my situation of a science background and the church as well.
I know a nun who lives in a community in France, and she's just absolutely effervescent with joy. And we went to visit her and we just found that whole experience just completely exhilarating.